We captured England's most famous ghost on camera. The Brown Lady is real. I never believed in ghost stories, but when I got the chance to spend a weekend at Rainham Hall in Norfolk, I couldn't resist. The place is legendary. Everyone in England knows the tale of the Brown Lady, the ghostly figure in a brown brocade dress who was captured in one of the most famous ghost photographs ever taken back in 1936. The hall was massive, a sprawling 17th-century estate with creaking wooden floors, antique furniture, and portraits that seemed to watch you as you moved. I was there for a friend's historical research project. He was writing about English country estates and invited me to tag along. The caretaker, a quiet old man with sunken eyes, gave us a warning before leaving us alone. If you see a woman in brown, don't follow her. Don't look at her face. I laughed it off. Is this part of the tourist experience? He didn't smile. I'm serious. She doesn't like visitors. That night, as we unpacked in our rooms, I kept feeling like I was being watched. The hallways were eerily silent, and the air carried a faint smell of old wood and something sour, like perfume gone bad. Around midnight, I went downstairs to get a drink of water. Halfway down the grand staircase, I froze. There was someone standing at the bottom of the stairs. A woman. Her dress was an old-fashioned brown gown, tattered and faded. She wasn't moving, just waiting. "Hello," I said, my voice trembling. She tilted her head slightly, as if acknowledging me. Then she turned and slowly walked down the corridor, disappearing into the darkness. I told my friend about the woman, but he brushed it off. "Probably the caretaker's wife," he said. But deep down I knew it wasn't. The second night was worse. I woke at 2:30 a.m. to the sound of soft footsteps outside my door. I held my breath, listening. The steps stopped. Then, a slow knock. 3 taps, soft but deliberate. I grabbed my phone and whispered, "Who is it?" Silence. I opened the door just a crack and looked out into the hallway. Empty. But as I closed the door, I saw something reflected in the brass doorknob. A faint figure standing behind me. I spun around. No one was there. Later, I walked the hallway, trying to prove to myself that I was imagining things. But as I passed the grand staircase, my stomach dropped. She was there again. The woman in brown, standing halfway up the stairs, one hand resting on the railing. This time I could see her face, or what was left of it. Her eyes were empty, black sockets. Her skin was gray and sagging like old parchment, and her mouth was frozen in a grimace. She stared straight at me. I couldn't move. My body locked with fear. Then, in a voice like the hiss of a dying candle, she whispered, "Why are you here?" I stumbled backward, my heart pounding. When I blinked, she was gone. The next morning, my friend found me pale and shaking in the kitchen. "You look like death," he said. I told him what I saw. He didn't laugh this time. Instead, he grabbed his camera. "Let's see if we can get proof." That evening, we set up cameras at the bottom of the staircase where I'd seen her. The hall was quiet, but the tension was unbearable. Around 1 a.m., we both heard it, the sound of a woman sobbing. Soft, heartbroken sobs that echoed through the empty hall. We turned toward the stairs, and there she was, the Brown Lady. She glided down the steps, her dress dragging soundlessly over the wood. Her head was tilted, and her hollow eyes seemed to stare through us. "Take the picture," I hissed. The camera flash went off, and for a second she seemed to flinch, then vanish like smoke. When we checked the photo, we both went silent. There she was, clear as day. A woman-shaped mist descending the staircase, her outline sharp, her face a blur of darkness. "That's impossible," my friend whispered. But it wasn't just a photo anymore. When I looked up from the camera screen, I saw her face pressed against the glass window behind us. We confronted the caretaker the next morning, showing him the photo. He paled instantly. "You shouldn't have taken that picture," he muttered. He told us the story of Lady Dorothy Walpole, the woman believed to be the Brown Lady. She was said to have been locked away in Rainham Hall by her abusive husband, left to die in one of the upstairs rooms. Her spirit, they say, never left. "She doesn't like strangers," the caretaker warned. "The last person who saw her face went mad. She'll follow you now." That night, my friend wanted to leave, but I insisted on staying one more night. I needed answers. At 3 a.m., I woke to the sound of soft breathing in my room. I turned on the lamp and nearly screamed. She was standing in the corner. The Brown Lady. Her hands were clasped, her head tilted like before. But now she was closer, and I could see her face clearly. Her mouth opened wide, unnaturally wide, as though she was trying to scream, but no sound came out. "Leave," she whispered. "Leave, or stay with me, forever." The lamp flickered and went out. I don't remember falling asleep, but I woke to my friend shaking me. "We have to leave," he said, his face white with terror. "What happened?" I asked. "She came to me last night," he whispered. "I saw her face. I don't want to die here." We packed in silence, but as we carried our bags down the staircase, the air turned icy. At the bottom of the stairs, she was waiting. The brown lady stood in the doorway, blocking our path. Her dress moved as though underwater, and her face twisted into something between anger and sorrow. She raised her hand and pointed at me. "You saw me." The walls shook. Every light in the hall went out, plunging us into darkness. I felt a cold hand brush my arm, and I ran. We didn't stop until we were miles away. When we checked the camera later, we found something that made me sick. The last photo, taken automatically on the staircase, showed her standing right behind me, her hand on my shoulder. I'll never go back to Raynham Hall, but sometimes, at night, I wake to the smell of old perfume, and I swear I see a shadowy figure in brown at the foot of my bed.